enjoyable morning sessions, and also we have a very delicious lunch for today. So I'd like to start this afternoon session. Okay, and uh, this is my pleasure to welcome all of you for the exciting and evolving area of education titled Evolving ELT Harnessing Blended Learning for Enhanced Language Acquisition by Myanmar team. Okay. We are honored to be joined by our two distinguished PNCL recipients. We have two, as you may see here. I'd like to introduce firstly Miss Yi Monso, the 2015 PNCL recipient, is an intent integration of blended learning. The keyword is blended learning in English language using or ELT. The blended learning combines the strength of the traditional classroom method with the advantages of digital tools, offering a dynamic and transformative approach to language learning. All of us here, we explore how this method can accelerate and enhance language acquisition and hear from our two excellent recipients about strategies and best practices, so success stories that demonstrate the power of blended learning. Okay.
I'm within Limassol because it's pretty PhD recipient of Timachu. Today, I would like to present about basic education system in this is the overview of my presentation. Strata of the basic education system, curriculum changes, competency-based learning, student assessment, teacher training and development, early childhood health and development, inclusive education, quality integration, school infrastructure, intelligence and implementation. The new basic education system in Myanmar was introduced in 2015 as part of the National Education Strategic Plan 2016-2021. It aims to reform the country curriculum education system by aligning it more closely with international standards and improving educational outcomes. The reform has focused on the structure, the curriculum, teacher training, and student assessment methods. And the old system follow in 5-4-2 format, 5 years of primary school, 4 years of middle school, and 2 years of high school. The new system is structured as a KG to 12 system, which consists of 30 years of education, kindergarten 1 year, primary school, grade 1 to 5 years, middle school, grade 6 to 9, 4 years, and high school, grade 10 to 12, 3 years. The curriculum has been redesigned to be more learner-centered and competency-based, with a focus on critical problem-solving and practical skills. Subjects include a broad range of disciplines, with more emphasis on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, as well as social studies, language, and math. There are all different theories of study for high school students. Students have to choose one date, namely STEM 1, 2, and STEM 1, 3. High school students have to choose one of them and study. All students in Myanmar have to study extracurricular study from primary school. Mathematics, Myanmar language remains the medium of instruction, while English is taught as the second language study from primary school. The new curriculum emphasizes developing competencies across key areas such as communication, collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving, and citizenship. Teaching methods have shifted from memorization to experiential learning, encouraging students to apply knowledge to their real-life situation. Another new system is to move away from high-stakes exam toward continuous assessment. Committee assessment, classroom-based assessment are used throughout the year to monitor student progress and guide instruction. The new grade 12 exam, which replaced the old matriculation exam, will be aligned with the reform curriculum and be more comprehensive in evaluating student abilities and skills. Early childhood care development program (ECCG) are being expanded to ensure that children are well developed before entering formal schooling. Kindergarten has been integrated as the first year of formal education, providing early exposure to basic literacy, numeracy, and practical skills, social skills. As in inclusive education, the reform aims to make education more inclusive, ensuring access for children from different socio-economic backgrounds, ethnic groups, and children with disabilities. Policies have been introduced to reduce barriers to education, including initiatives for language support in ethnic areas where students may not speak Myanmar as their first language. Teacher training programs have been updated to prepare educators for the new system. This includes professional development courses and training on new pedagogical approaches. 75% of teachers are trained to foster a more interactive and student-centered classroom environment. There is also an emphasis on reducing modern teaching aids, such as digital tools in the classroom. Efforts are being made to incorporate technology into the classroom with the goal of enhancing both teaching and learning processes. Digital literacy is also being introduced as a key aspect of the curriculum, preparing students for the demands of a modern technology-driven society. School infrastructure development. The government is working on improving the physical infrastructure of schools, particularly in rural and remote areas. New school buildings are being constructed and existing infrastructure are being renovated to be a better learning, to provide a better learning environment. Changes and implementation. While the new system represents a beta shift, this implementation has great challenges, including the availability of trained teachers, resources, and infrastructure in rural areas, political instability, and the ongoing conflict in some regions have also hindered smooth implementation. Despite these challenges, the government continues to push forward with educational reforms with support from the international partners and organizations. The new basic education system aims to be a foundation for a more skilled and knowledgeable workforce, ultimately contributing to Myanmar's long-term socio-economic development. However, continuous efforts are needed to ensure its success across all regions and communities. That's all of my presentation. If you have any questions, please be free to ask us.
การ any questions to ask about the education system of Myanmar before it is
เช่นเด็กก่อนนะครับจากราชบุรีครับ จะถามว่าในการจัดการเรียนการสอนของเมียนมาเนี่ยนะครับมีการสอบช้ำไหมนะครับ
he asked if it was great while waiting on it. If in Myanmar we have kind of student who fail and need to repeat the class again and again. Is there any system of that?
And this is only gradual, not the other grade. So from KG to grade 11, 11 move to step by step to another grade by continuous assessment, platform-based assessment, and
So step by step, right? That's of course.
and if they need extra teaching, extra teaching, additional teaching, and remedial teaching.
So it's no failing. Step up.
Step by step to grade 11.
So I want to talk about that. So if a student fail in the exam, so he has to take the remedial teaching and the remedial exam. So if he fails one time, so he has to take the remedial teaching and remedial exam one time. And then if he has failed, so he has to take another remedial teaching and remedial exam to pass the exam. But the last grade in business education, grade 12, for the matriculation examination, so they don't have the remedial teacher, but they have to try for another year to pass the exam. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Without the keynote speaker and participants. My quick excitement for non-meeting questions. My question is, do they have the national test or the competition test before they get to the university?
The national exam. Yeah. So there is national exam for the pre-university students. So if they pass the national exam, so they can join and choose the university they would like to. Yeah.
The national test before they graduate is like their competency test. Like in Thailand, we have the audit test that's been ordinary exams for the graduates before they graduate.
And actually, we also have the national test for different level. So for the primary level, so the upper primary level has to take the national exam. So if they pass the national exam, so they can be transferred to another level, lower secondary. And so after they finish the lower secondary, so they have to take the national exam again. And after passing the national exam at the lower secondary level, so they move to the upper secondary level. So the last of the upper secondary level, so for the grade 12, so they have to take the national exam again. So this is the continuous learning assessment for all the levels. So after the matriculation examination, so they can join. So as earlier said, I said, so they can join to the university. But it depends on the marks and the grading system that they got along their business education. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Understand the questions. This is a good opportunity for all of us to ask about in a system in our neighboring countries that we cannot directly know if there is no visual story.
ตอนพิโยมค่ะจากจังหวัดกาฬสินธุ์นะคะอยากจะขอเรียนถามเรื่องหลักสูตรในการจัดการเรียนการสอนของเมียนมาค่ะว่าได้แบ่งเป็นหลักสูตรแกนกลางเพิ่มเติมหรือหลักสูตรพิเศษสำหรับนักเรียนกลุ่มพิเศษนะคะหรือไม่ข้อที่หนึ่งค่ะข้อที่สองการจัดการศึกษาได้เปิดกว้างให้ผู้เรียนได้เลือกตามความสนใจหรือว่ามีหลักสูตรเดียวที่จะให้กับเด็กทุกคนค่ะนั่นค่ะ
Is there any special curriculum for special group of students? For example, science curriculum or student who need special education. Is there any particular or special curriculum for them? Student can choose their educational pathway, or is there any opening wide open different pathway for student to choose for their education?
Okay, so for the first question, so there is a special education department under the Ministries of Education, and there is also a separate special education curriculum for the special school like blind and deaf school. So and the school for the disabled children. So the answer is there is a separate department under the Ministries of Education, and there's also a special education curriculum for the disabled and special need students. And for the second question, so there are a lot of ways and there are a lot of education pathways that students can freely choose for their career or for their lifelong learning or for their further study. They can choose, but it depends on the national exam for the basic education. So they have the right to choose after the national education exam, right? If they fail in the national exam, they don't have the right to choose for their educational pathway to join the university. So if they are interested in agriculture and engineering, so they can go to the engineering school or the agricultural school for their further study. They don't need to take the national exam, but it depends on their choice. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? We can have one or two more questions.
So if you don't have another question, we'll move to the next session of the presentation. Please. So after having the lunch, you all are sleepy, right? I see on the stage some of you are sleepy. So shall we sing a song? So did you hear the song? Are you sleepy? Are you sleepy? Brother John. So did you hear that? Okay, so are you sleepy? Are you sleepy? Brother John. Brother John. Presentation is happening. Presentation is happening down. Okay, so I want to request all of you to pay the attention for our presentation. So this is our effort, and so this is the implementation of our teaching method. So I want to introduce myself again. I am Jose Ao, 2021 recipient from Myanmar. Now I work as a teacher educator who trains pre-service teachers and in-service teacher, especially for English language teaching methods at Education Degree College. So I'm college teacher. Today, so I'm very honored to be here to present you about our expertise. So today we have 3 sessions in our presentation. So the first one, as Ms. Yumoso already mentioned about our presentation, the basic education system in Myanmar. And the second session is my presentation, so about the title that I chosen. And the next session, so we will deliver the questionnaire after we have presented our presentation. And we will record your data and the finding as a case study for our blended learning. So let's start with the brainstorming question. So do you know blended learning? So the question, what is blended learning? Okay, think of yourself as a group. What is blended learning? So we have the portable boards opposite to your side. What is blended learning? So I just want you to write only one word that can describe the best for blended learning. How do you understand blended learning? Oh, okay, so you will see the two markers on your TV, and so from one representative from your group can write on the particular note only one word. Don't think too much. Only one word that can describe what is blended learning. Okay, so thank you everyone. So you want to find what is blended learning. So let's find so let's say integration is further way online as on site and teaching that. So we can define what is blended learning. So you already know about that what is blended learning because you all are the teachers. Yeah. Okay. So next. Next subject, variety, relationship, dynamic, technology. So, good job. All the words describe what is blended learning. So, really, blended learning is the integration of online and on-site learning, and is a happy way to learn for the students, and is a flexible method for the teacher and for the students, and it's also the complement of our teaching method. Is a very interactive and very dynamic way, and it's a mix of traditional teaching and digital teaching and including the technology. So you all describe, yeah. So I don't need to explain what is blended learning, yeah. So here is the introduction to ELT and blended learning. So my title, presentation title focuses on the area of English language teaching. So I want to find in two parts, ELT and blended learning. So what is blended learning and what is ELT? So ELT refers to the teaching of English as a second or foreign language. In our country, Myanmar, English is taught as a foreign language, so we use the TFL, teaching English as a foreign language. So we use TFL methods and aim at native speakers across different educational contexts, especially so English used as a second language or as a foreign language. And blended learning combines traditional face-to-face classroom instruction with online or digital learning experience. Actually, blended learning comes to be important. So maybe last 4 or 5 years ago, we experienced the COVID-19 pandemic. So at the time, most of the schools in my country are closed because of the pandemic situation, like the other country. So the school cannot open formally. So our teaching platform have to move on online. So at the time, if the school are not be able to be open, so how teachers can teach our students. So it's a kind of matter that we have to think in this era because we are not sure. So what we will experience in the future, like the pandemic or the crisis, or maybe all the war, maybe everything we can experience. So at that time, as the teacher, how we can teach our students. So if the school are not be able to be open, so how will we teach our students? So we cannot meet the students, so we can have the face-to-face class like the formative. So how can we do that for teaching and learning process? So this is a kind of method that we have to be considered in this day. So that learning comes to be important. So I choose this topic and it's very important for the teachers. So the world, as you already know, the world is changing and our education system is changing year by year because of the demands of the student, demands of the technology, demands of the nation. We have to shift our teaching methods from traditional style to the technological use or the digital use teaching style. So blended learning is important. So as saying I'm like this is all the digital teaching is very important. No. So sometimes we have to combine our traditional teaching methods with the technology used teaching method. So not only the traditional teaching method is important, but also the technology used teaching method is also important. So the best way is combining that two kinds of teaching methods. Okay, so why blended learning is used in ELT? So I mentioned that what is ELT and what does blended learning means. So the growing demand for digital tools and resources in language learning has made blended learning an attractive approach to enhancing language acquisition through flexibility, interactivity, and personalization. So we all have the phones in this classroom. So in this room, we all have our mobile phone. So this is a digital tool that we can use to learn language. So you can learn every languages on the world by using this digital tool, right? Not only English, as well as other many foreign languages you can learn by this phone. So this is a digital tool. So when I was a student, I haven't seen it before because at the time we are not in the digital eras. But now, or when I became a teacher, so I was in the digital era and I have to use the digital tools for my student and for my teaching. So digital tools can play an important for our teachings. So you can use mobile phone, laptop, computer, projector. So these are the digital tools. And also the microphone is the digital tool. And the smartwatch is also the digital tool. So we have and we can available any digital tools around our study that you can use to improve your teaching and you can use it to enhance your student learning. So as you already know, many digital tools and resources are available in this day. You can also use the blended learning. You can also use the digital tool to learn language. So what you are interested, if you are interested in French, you can learn French. If you're interested in Korean language, you can use the digital tool to learn Korean language. So you cannot go, and you don't have to need to go anywhere. You can sit on your place and you can stay in your bed and you can learn by the digital tools. So all the languages that you are interested in. Okay, so how is converted in ELT traditional teaching method to blended learning? So for the traditional language learning, we use the predominantly teacher center, especially the traditional teaching methods is the teacher-centered classroom, and the classroom based with limited use of technology. So all we have come across and come the days with only the books and the documents and only the stationaries. And all of the students have to learn by the passive learning environment, focusing on textbook. Okay, one student get in the room, sit in his place and open the textbook and read textbook. So the teacher said, okay, students sit your place and take out the books and open at page 10 and read. Okay, what does it mean? So it's very traditional. It's very traditional. So student can do the class and open their book and they whether they read or not and they learn passively. So traditional way is very create a passive learning environment because law is only focused on the textbook and the books the documents only. That so blended learning in ENT is so it's focused on the learner-centered approach. So it incorporates digital platforms like multimedia resources and interactive tools. So multimedia resources like so I already mentioned about that projector, laptop, overhead projector, so many other things for today and encourage autonomy and set-paced learning. So what student learn with blended learning? So student can create his own space to learn online. So when you take a flight, so you can learn on the flight. So when you take the bus, you can learn on the bus. And when you do something or when you are doing something, you can learn something by doing something. You are cooking. When you are cooking in the kitchen, so you turn on the radio and the radio broadcasts the news or the ways of cooking something. So you can learn by listening to the radio. So is the advantage of blended learning. Right? So it's also more focused on communication, fluency, and real-life language use. So communication. So one student comes to the class, they have to communicate with other students, so in the school compound or in the class. But when they use the blended learning for their learning, they can communicate other students all over the world or over the country. So their communication is more flexible. And fluency. So when you see or when you listen to the broadcasting, like weather forecasting or the news report or the talk show programs on TV, students can learn so how the native speakers speak in languages. So they can learn and they can improve their fluency and real life language use. So English is also a language. There are more and more trendy words involved, uh, like the contraction words or the modern word or the trendy words are more and more nowadays. So students can understand the real life situation words. So by using the social media or by using the internet or by surfing on the internet, so they can get and they can be familiar with the real life situation words. So these are the key components of blended learning in ELT. So blended learning combines traditional teaching methods with the digital tool. So it can use as a face-to-face instruction when you use Zoom or the Google Classroom. So you already know Zoom application. So you can use Zoom for your face-to-face instruction by using the digital tool like the laptop or the computer. You can interact with the student by turning on the video, by turning on the PowerPoint, something like that. You can have the face-to-face instruction, but you have to be interact in the classroom or in the same area. The student may be in his home and you are maybe in the school, but you can interact face to face by using the digital tool. This is the way of blended learning is used. And so online learning. Online learning. So now we all have the online training courses. You can attend online training like the application or like the website or Coursera and Duolingo. You can choose many training course or many course. You can learn freely. So you can choose the time as that is appropriate for you. So online learning and flipped classroom model. So flipped classroom model. So if you will be late to the school because you are stuck in the traffic. So student will be ready in the classroom, but you can control over in the traffic. So you can turn on the TV and you can deliver your lecture by turning on the TV by using the flat classroom style and collaborative learning. Students can collaboratively assign or do the text or the assignment online. So when you use the Zoom as a teacher, you can group the students and you can assign them to do a text or the assignment. So the students in the group will collaboratively participate and do the assignment as they have assigned. So here I want to show some blended learning tools for ELT. So you can find it when you use phone. You can download it on your mobile phone or on your laptop. So I want to share blended learning tools for language precision, for learning English or other languages. So the first one is Learning Management System. It's called LMS. LMS. So actually, you have to build up a website, and it is used for the institution, not only the personnel. So some university has the LMS system. So learning management system, they build at a website for the learning management system. Student uh, can upload their assignment, and student can answer the exam or answer the tutorials. Student can upload their activities so on the LMS of the respective university or the college or the school. And other platform like Moodle and Google Classroom or Blackboard. So these all are the applications that you can easily download on your mobile phone. So this application allows teachers to post material, track progress. So track progress. So to check the attendance of the students. So whether they are present or absent or your class. So you can track progress and you can check student progress. So on the application. So you can use the Google Classroom or the Moodle and communicate with students. So you can report to their respective parents by using this application, by using this software. So you don't need to write on the document, and you don't need to fill the real document to, you don't need to deliver to their parents. You just click. You only need to just click tap the key. So the student progress or the student record will be delivered to their respective parents. Okay, so another learning tools for the blended learning. So mobile apps for language learning. Tools like Duolingo, Memrise, Babel, Zoom. So by using this application, you can get the many opportunities for extra practice and to improve your vocabulary or to enrich your vocabulary, building in or outside of the classroom. So to take money, so I answered that. So you can use TikTok. So I like TikTok, not watching the movies or not watching other things. But I like TikTok because I can learn language only for 1 minute. You don't need to pay so much time on TikTok. So some of the language educator or the language coach posted 1 minute video on TikTok. So very short and very simple and very easy to learn. So you will not be lazy or you will not be bored in learning language because learning language actually makes boring for some people. So only 1 minute. So when you pay attention to 1 minute, so you can learn easily on TikTok. So as for me, sometimes I learn English and I learn language from TikTok. So most of the language educator posted 1 minute video on TikTok. So you like the long video or you want more? You can search on YouTube or the other website that they mentioned. Okay, and like video conferencing tools. Video conferencing tools. When you are at night, but you want to teach your students, so you can use the video conferencing tool. So you can use any time for the video conferencing tools to teach your student, like Zoom or Microsoft Teams. So this is enabled to use virtual classes and language teaching. Sometimes we so for me, for my college students, so I use the Zoom to interchange the language and the cultural difference from other country, like Thailand or like Vietnam or the like Korea. So my student meet online. So with other students by using the Zoom. So they present about something and they exchange their culture, so they exchange their conversations, and they have the communication with the foreign students. So this is the best way to use the digital learning tool. Okay. And next, so these are the interactive learning tools. So some people know that Kahoot, Quizlet, and Padlet. So for quiz and vocabulary games and collaboration. So you can use these mobile application for different levels, like primary, lower secondary, upper secondary, or for the college or the university student, you can use for different levels. So there are so many language games and language quiz you can download on your mobile phone or laptop. So Kahoot, Quizlet, and Padlet are very useful tools for interactive learning too. Students can play games on tablet, on mobile phone, by learning or by playing the games, we can learn the language. And another multimedia content like YouTube. So for video lesson, so you can use YouTube as a multimedia of teaching learning process. So you can search on the video lesson. If you are a science teacher, you can see the science explanation lessons on the YouTube. So if you are history teacher, you can search on YouTube. So about the history of a nation, about the history of a place. And if you are the art teacher, so you can search on YouTube. So how the international instrument different. So you can learn from the video lesson on YouTube. And the next one is Tech Talk. Tech Talk. Tech Talk. So the great speaker joined Tech Talk, and so they deliver the message or they give the speech to the audience. So we can learn from the Tech Talk, like the public speaking, and so how the native speakers speak or in front of the many audience. So tech talks, you can see tech talk for listening and comprehension. So another content, multimedia content is podcast. So podcast. So to improve your listening skills, and it can also be used to exposure the authentic language or the daily use language acquisition. So I mentioned about the learning tool and multimedia tools or the blended learning that you can use. So all can be available and all can be downloaded on your mobile phone, on your laptop, or on your tablet. So before I move to the next slide, so I have a question, another question. Does your time of thinking about the question? So the next question is advantages. Advantages. So I already mentioned about some of the advantages of using blended learning. So what are the advantages of using blended learning? Okay, take your set and you can write on the particular board. Okay, you have 5 minutes to think about that. Advantages of blended learning. Okay, everyone. So as you write on the board, all are the advantages of blended learning, but there are also the disadvantages. So every teaching method has its pros and cons. No best teaching method actually. So actually we have for 24 or 25 teaching method. So when someone asks you what is the best teaching method, how will you answer it? So for me, there is no best teaching method because every teaching method has its pros and cons. So now you find out the advantages of blended learning. Okay, so let's think about the disadvantages. The disadvantages of blended learning. Okay, now let's think about the disadvantages of blended learning. The next topic is disadvantages, weakness, and drawbacks. Yeah, no internet access. If you don't have no internet access or no electricity, you cannot use the blended learning. So to use blended learning in your teaching, you need digital tools, electricity, and internet access. Okay, thank you everyone. So you find out advantages and disadvantages of using blended learning. So here I will present about the benefits and the disadvantages of using blended learning. So as a case study, I use this teaching credits in one of the school in Nashu, and in my college I use blended learning and I recorded all the data. So to summarize as a case study, so to find out the benefits and the drawbacks of using blended learning. So here's the some benefits of blended learning in language acquisition. So the first one is personalized learning. Students can choose where they can study or what they can study. It's very personalized. And second, they increase engagement. So every student and every child are very interested in the digital tools. So they want to use the mobile phone or the laptop So when they have to learn by using the digital, they are very active and they are very engaged in their learning. So it increases the learning engagement and it also improves learning skill. So some students can start themselves and to for improving their language skill. So when they watch on YouTube or when they listen to the postcard or the other media or the other platform on internet, so they can improve and they can imitate the way of native speaker speaking. And it's very flexible learning environment. So you're resting at a coffee shop or you're having a coffee at the coffee shop that you can turn it your mobile phone and you can learn. It's very flexible. And the next collaboration opportunity. So as I said earlier, so it's very collaboratively engaged among the students, among the teacher. As the teacher, so we can connect. So I can connect all of you online. So when I give my QR scan to you, so you can scan my QR scan and we can be friends and we can communicate online. And so if we have time, we can make a talk and we can discuss about the topics online by using the Zoom or the Google platform or Line application. So most of the people in China use Line app, so we can make friends and we can make a talk online. So this is a collaboration opportunity that we can get by using the blended planning. Okay, these are the challenges in implementing blended learning in the ELD. So some challenges are there in implementing blended learning, like technological access and literacy. Literacy. So if you are not very well in English, you will be difficult finding something in Google or on browser because the literacy is very important. If you are illiteracy, you cannot use the Google platform like the other people. So technology can asset. So I write some of the no Wi-Fi, PC, a lot of work, lack of technological support, limit of time, can control time. So it's right. So to use the digital tools, we need electricity, so to power the digital tools. And if to use the YouTube videos or that to use Zoom, we need internet access. So if you are the teacher in remote area, so how will you overcome the challenges? So how will you overcome? So at that place, so it will not be easy to use the blended teaching method. So I said that there is no best teaching method actually, because every teaching method has its own pros and cons, its own has limitations. So these are some of the challenges and limitations of using blended learning. So we need technological access. So if you are teachers in poor country, you cannot get the technological support or you cannot get the technological tools to integrate with your teaching. So how will you teach with blended learning? So blended learning that cannot be successful at that country. Okay, and teacher training. Teacher training. In Myanmar, so we have pre-service teachers and in-service teacher. So for the pre-service teacher, so after the learning 4 years or 5 years, they will be appointed as teacher. So they will get the degree in education and they will be appointed as teacher. So to be teacher, so the pre-service teacher have to be familiar with the digital tools and so with the technology. So so if they are appointed to be teachers, so they can use the technology very well to integrate with their teaching. So pre-service teacher training is very important. and student motivation and accountability. So I said every student use their mobile phone. That if the students are poor and they cannot afford to use a mobile phone, they have no motivation about this, and they have no accountability. So you will buy mobile phone for your student? No, our salary cannot afford to buy mobile phone for every student, right? So if student cannot use the mobile phone or the laptop or other digital tool, if they cannot use, they will get less motivated in this teaching method, and they have less accountability in participating in this teaching method. And balancing traditional and digital method. So blended learning makes the traditional and digital teaching method. That if you are very traditional teacher, you use very traditional ways of teaching and you like very traditional teaching, so blended learning will not be okay for you because you are more emphasized on traditional ways of teaching. And if you are the very digital teacher, you want to use all the digital tools in your classroom, and you want to provide education for your student with laptop, projector, computer, mobile phone, something like that. That you and the government cannot afford to provide every student with laptop, mobile phone, and internet. So as the country is overwide, so like the Thailand is wide, and if Thailand also has the remote area, many remote area. So some of the remote area cannot get the internet access, cannot use the digital tools, so the government can provide every student the digital tool or every places electricity or the internet access. Right? So in Myanmar, the government cannot provide every places the internet and the electricity enough for the student, for the people. So at the time, so we cannot use only the digital teaching method. So we have to use only the traditional method. So the best way is to mix or to integrate your traditional method with some kind of digital teaching method. So it's the best way, and it will be attractive for your student to engage in their learning. And teacher training in service. Teacher training in service are most of the in-service teachers are well experienced and well enough, right? So they are very familiar with the traditional teaching methods. So the old people don't like the technology. So my grandparents always against the technology things. So when I use the mobile phone, you are always using your mobile phone. You are always looking at the mobile phone. And when I use the microwave to warm some food, so they don't like at that kind of tool. They just want to put on the fire and put on the pot and put on the food and to warm. So they are very conventional and very traditional. So the old people don't like using the digital tools. They are not familiar with the technology. So it's one of the challenges in implementing the blended learning. So I find out according to the data of my study, that most of the old teachers are not familiar with the technology and they cannot use the blended learning very successfully. So best practices for blended learning. So if you want to use blended learning in your teaching English, so you need to set clear goals and expectation. You need to use data to drive instruction, incorporate regular feedback, foster a community of learning, and diversify content delivery. So if you work with these best practices for blended learning, your teaching English will be successful and will have the we have been or we have achieved your learning outcomes. Okay, so this is my case study, that's successful blended learning in ELT. So I implemented blended learning at high school in Lashu in English language curriculum. So especially for the upper secondary level. So using flipped classroom technique. So at the study, according to that study, students watch video at home. So and use class time for discussion and debates in English, resulting in improved speaking fluency. So this is a case study of my teaching learning. So I order students to watch a video at home, and they have to discuss in the class after day. And so by using this teaching method, so I found that students improve their speaking speed and improve their fluencies in English. And another case study in an ELT program in my college, National Education Degree College. So I introduced some of the mobile apps. So like I presented that before, I introduced mobile app for vocabulary learning. So most of the students know, most of the pre-service teachers know they learn vocabulary from dictionary or other kinds of books that I introduced and I presented some applications to learn vocabulary in their learning. So students use the mobile application for learning the vocabulary. So according to that data, so the result was a significant increase. So students were very interested and students were successful in learning vocabulary retention and reading comprehension. So these are the two case studies that I implemented using the blended learning. So in conclusion, and for the future of blended learning in ELT. So blended learning is transforming English language teaching by offering a flexible, personalized, and interactive learning experience. So it has made the diverse needs of learning until utilizing modern technology for language acquisition. So you can use the blended learning as a flexible or modern technology for personalized or interactive way of teaching method. And now the future of English language teaching will continue to evolve as new technology emerge like AI, VR, or AR. So you already know that AI and VR and pedagogical approaches are refined. Blended learning will remain at the forefront, ensuring the learners can achieve language fluency in diverse and engaging ways. So today is the IT age. So more and more technology is changing and developing. So as a teacher, we have to overcome to follow up with the technology. So blended learning will be very useful in the future. So if you are the language teacher or the other physical teacher, you can use blended learning and you can learn blended learning for the future of your work as a teacher. So this presentation covers the theoretical background of ELT. So I presented what is ELT, what is blended learning, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of blended learning, and practical tools that can be used for implementing blended learning, and some kinds of applications that I introduced you, an example of how we can transform language acquisition. So thank you for your attention. So any questions? If you have any question or suggestion, it's your time. And we will get over the question now. Now we are delivering the question now. So the question now covers 15 questions for 10 areas. So it's asking for your attitudes on blended learning. So I write it in English and translate it in time. So I'm not sure whether it is correct or not, but you can read it. So firstly, for the questionnaire, you have to fill your personal information, when your age, your age, and 2, your gender, male or female, and 3, years of teaching experience. So if you have 10 years teaching experience, if you have 20 years teaching experience, you can fill it over. And subject dot, what are you teaching at school? So if you teach science, write science. If you teach art, write art. And level of education you teach, primary, secondary, college, or university, right? And how often do you use letter learning in your teaching? You can write only the letter A, B, C, G, E. You can choose one. And 7, what digital tools or platform do you use for letter learning? So what kind of digital platform that you have to be used? So you have to fill the personal information for 10.
เดี๋ยวนี้ซิมหน่อยแล้วผ่านเรา creation of the floor
Thank you very much. And get also the one who's running supporting to all the law to know the children and you'll say we know them. Happening is you tell about the different traditional language teaching and learning in UIT. I think traditional language teaching is passive on visual. Sometimes you can say that you choose it with a positive case and a positive into education. It's all taken education and learning is active learning. Which tries to develop writing and use technology to mix or methods of teaching. If we shared to use and in English for time or partition, how we design the evaluation and the strength orientation and after teaching this extremely tournament is also
You can put on website before and after teaching.
evaluate and measure
How to evaluate the assessment or to evaluate the learning outcomes in all language acquisition. So I already mentioned about some kinds of applications that a student can use. So when they use the application, so after they have learned some kinds of vocabulary, so it's after so follow up the vocabulary exercise. And so they have to compose their own sentence. So this is a kind of assessing the student achievements. And so if for the traditional method, so if we use a text form, so after each essay we have exercise to assess student achievement. Yeah. So exercise for some kinds of activity. So in Myanmar, so we have a big class. So one teacher for at least 60 students. Okay, that's that. So at the time, we cannot do any other activity. So we have just to use the teacher-centered learning like a discussion method. So we cannot use other decision method because we have evaluated resources or the infrastructures, and so we are trying to look at students because the class size is so big and we don't have many stuff. So at that time, we just only use the teacher center and teacher center approach. So we gave the student the exercise, and so the student do the exercise and turn over. Yeah, so we check and we consult with the student. So whether it's 3 or 4, whether it's right or wrong. Thank you.
send patients. You can have one or two more patients. Or opinions or suggestions. มีไหมครับคุณครูครับ
เป็นการที่คือการใช้คลิปคลาสรูมในการจัดการเรียนการสอนเป็นคิวตัวเองก็เป็นคนหนึ่งที่ใช้เรื่องคลาสรูมในการให้กรองการเรียนการสอนก็พบกันว่า จะมีเด็กกลุ่มหนึ่งที่ให้ความสนใจอย่างยิ่งเลยในการทำกิจกรรมที่เรื่องของการเรียนวิชาเด็กก็จะมีกลุ่มหนึ่งซึ่งเป็นเด็กที่ตั้งใจเรียนแล้วเขาก็จะให้ความใส่ใจในการทำกิจกรรมต่างแต่ก็จะมีอีกกลุ่มหนึ่งซึ่งไม่ใช่กลุ่มน้อยด้วยที่ก็ยังถามความสนใจขาดแรงสนใจไม่ทราบว่าในการทำเกมพันที่ของคุณค่ะเกิดปัญหาอะไรแล้วคุณครูแก้ปัญหาแก้ปัญหา
So I encounter like you. Yeah. So some students are very motivated students for the free classroom, but some students are not very interested and pay attention to the teacher. So at the time, so how do I do? So I make the group by mixing them. So with the low motivated student and the high motivated student, I mix them as a group. Yeah. So student can then peer to peer. So I encourage them from the peer instruction. Yeah. Thank you.
จะใช้วิธีการของทางของคุณเว็บไซต์
ครับครูกำลังแข่งร่วมมาจากกรุงเทพนะครับ
ซึ่งเทคโนโลยีซึ่งจะเป็นสมาร์ทโฟนที่เป็นเอาไปใช้คอมพิวเตอร์แบบการใช้ก็มีประโยชน์สุดๆนะครับในทางประเทศไทยจะบอกว่ามันเป็นดาบสองคมมีทั้งข้อดีและข้อเสียเราจะมีแนวทางในการควบคุมการใช้เทคโนโลยีเหล่านี้กับเด็กกลุ่มที่เราไม่ได้เฟซบุ๊กเป็นอย่างไรคือการควบคุมไม่ให้เข้าสู่เว็บไซต์หรือว่าพฤติกรรมเชิงลบนะครับในที่เกี่ยวกับการใช้พวกสื่อนวัตกรรม
So in our country, Myanmar, we give online education and offline education. So to the places like this, not easily can I get internet access. So at the time, the government, especially the government and the institution, take the videos of a teacher teaching lessons and deliver to the student, broadcasting on radio or on TV. So if they have the electricity, so they can learn like distant education. So they can learn from home by watching the TV or by listening to the radio. So for example, if one village has two television, the government and the institution advertise that the lessons will be broadcast at 10 in the morning. So the student can wait for 10 p.m. So to learn from the TV or to listen to the radio broadcasting. In our country, it's called distant learning system or distant education system. So it actually depends on the supervisions and the authorities of the institution. So how they will try to deliver to the student. So as a teacher, what can you do? Is you can take your teaching video, you can take your teaching video, you can post it, you can deliver to, you can drive into your USB drive, or you can deliver to the student to watch on TV or to listen to on radio. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so after you answer the question, you can give it to back. So we will keep all the data that we have discovered here for the next case study. What are the attitudes of the Thai teachers on blended learning? So I will make as the case study for my study. Yeah. And I also want you to write your idea and stick on the portable board. Your idea about my presentation or about our team presentation or about blended learning. So you can write anything, any suggestion, any options or any idea on the board. You are welcome to write and stick on the board. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time and attention.
Okay, so we have a very valuable session about the blended learning and also English language teaching. I think all of them have a very knowledgeable. They are very learning, and also they share to us their experiences, their concepts, so their practices about the blended learning and teaching. So let's give them a big, please. So we end this session right now, and I think one of the most you are here, you want to know
On the stick paper, you can give your feedback or suggestion, your idea. So for me, or for my team, or for my presentation, feel free to write and stick. So that what we remember and story on this presentation.
Okay, so we end this session at the moment, so thank you very much. And also we have the next session at 3:30. 3:30, so we have a complete break and attend your session. Thank you very much.